And this is not the reason why marijuana or cannabis sativa is in our statutes as a dangerous substance or as a narcotic or anything else.
Are drugs bad? SNEAKO recently made a 1-minute podcast about it, and it got me thinking, are they really that bad? Because at school we're always told, stay in school, don't do drugs, drugs are bad, drugs will turn your brain into scrambled egg, all of that. But the funny thing is, that teacher that's told you don't do drugs, she's probably going home and drinking a whole bottle of wine to herself. That's still a drug, and just because it's legal doesn't make it any better. In fact, there's actually more alcohol deaths than weed. 8,000 deaths in 2018 in the UK. As a kid, you always think, yeah, drugs are bad, and then you realize that smell from your neighbor's car, that's weed, and those balls on the ground, that's not laughing gas, that's nos. You realize everybody does drugs. Even the sugar in this tea, that's a drug, and the caffeine in it. So are drugs really bad? If you asked a 7-year-old, like I've just said, they would say yes, clear and cookie cut, yes, they're bad. But I was always taught everything is okay in moderation. So surely drugs are okay in moderation, right? The problem isn't the drugs themselves, it's the person. And I'm not saying if you have a drug addiction or something, I'm not saying it's fully your fault. But I mean, surely doing drugs, recreationally, sociably, that's fine. It is, but the problem is once you start doing it more sociably, the draw to do it not sociably, just on your own, it becomes a lot stronger. And it becomes harder and harder to resist. And that's where the problem is. If you're a strong-willed person, then sure you can do it sociably. You can smoke a bit of weed, whatever. But the problem is a lot of people have a warped perception of themselves. People often idolize traits that they don't have, and they always say they want that in other people because it's a trait they value so much. And then they actually apply that to themselves. Most people believe they have that trait. So if someone has a slight ego, they probably think, they're really strong-willed. So weak-willed people think they're strong-willed enough to do drugs sociably and not get addicted to it. And not only that, most people don't even know themselves. I mean, so many people have a problem with just being on their own. It's not even that they don't know themselves, it's that they don't want to. They don't want to hear and think about all the messed up thoughts they have and who they actually are as a person, to battle through why they're unhappy. They'd rather fill it with people. And then drugs come along. Now, when you're not with people, instead of battling through the uncomfortability of learning about yourself, so you can be okay with being your own, just build a zoo, it's way easier. And that's when it becomes a problem, when drugs aren't okay, when they become a way for you to run from your problems. Because from my experience of it, even people who just smoke weed religiously every day, well, the problems always catch up. Talking of religion, I hear some people say, religion and drugs, what's the difference? They're both escapes. But you've got to think, what are those drugs actually doing for your life to better you? I mean, when you smoke weed, you become slow. You've got nothing to do. You're just slow, you're okay with being on your own. But religion, it gives a sense of community, a way for you to be with people. It teaches you good morals, to be kind. So I don't think that's a valid argument. I'm not saying religion is good. That was kind of a bit of a tangent. I'm not saying religion is good. If you want me to make a video about religion, comment, because I'm an atheist. I have some strong views on it. But there's also benefits to drugs. Like everything in life, it's not black and white, cookie cut, set in stone. Medical properties, dealing with mental illnesses, deepening connections, ego deaths, and even learning more about yourself. All properties that drugs have. I've seen even weed ruin people's lives, but I've also seen it create some of the greatest pieces of art there is. So when people ask you, are drugs bad, I don't think it's as simple as yes or no. It's more about understanding the risks of what you're taking. Personally, I don't want to do them, but do what you want to do with your life. But don't impose your own views onto other people. If you like this video or you like the drawing, which I'm going to reveal just after this, then subscribe. We're trying to hit 1K subs. Have a successful day.